Hi class, continuing with the clustering algorithm. So now we have the k-means. So what will be the execution steps, right? So in the last lecture, we saw that in the k-means, we require good centroids. Right? So I'm drawing fewer points. Right? So we have three very good clusters. And now assume that we know that, okay, k is equal to 3 and we need 3 clusters. Right? So for a machine, this will be just points in space. Right? From a human point of view, we know that these three are very close to each other and we need to have such 3 clusters. But how does a machine think? Right? So initially, as you know, if we do not know anything, we start randomly. So in case of randomly, what will happen is, let's say I choose, because I need 3 cluster points, I choose my centroid as R1, R2 and R3. See, at this particular point of interval, these 3 points make no sense because they are chosen arbitrarily. But now the task of the algorithm is like to move this point's trajectory such a way that it comes to this particular point. This guy basically iterates and come to this particular point, and this guy comes to this particular point. Now again, from an algorithmic point of view, the time taken to travel this distance also should be less. It should not take infinitely long time to basically travel and come here. In that case, the purpose of clustering itself is lost, right? So what happens under k-means algorithm? It is designed such that over each and every interval, this particular distance, right? These distance. So this basically is known as a trajectory distance, right? Trajectory distance is basically something that the initial random point that we assume to be a good centroid needs to travel so that it reaches a point of local minimum, right? In this particular case. So for example, it may so happen that the algorithm may behave in this manner. Let me just show with the pen color. So you have 3 clusters. Initially, we had the point R1, R2, R3. In the next iteration, we may have that R1 moves here, R2 moves here, R3 moves here, right? And then in the next iteration, so this R1, so let me change the pen color to blue. So maybe R1 must have reached this point. Now this is R1. R2 may be here, and R3 may be at this particular point, right? So as you can see, the R1 is now satisfied, right? The R1 has already reached a point where the centroid is well placed, but we still need to compute for R2 and R3. So in the next iteration, we go and so on. So eventually what will happen is like we will have our centroids arranged like this. This is R2, this is R1, and this is R3. So these are the represented centroids which basically help us to identify the clusters, right? Now what happens, right? Okay, I think this is enough. The intuition about the k-means for this lecture will be enough. In the next lecture, we see a little bit of more distance calculations and all those things.